guys, this is Leslie from The Whole Shebang. I want to, right off the bat, thank all my subscribers. I just hit 100 subscribers, which is a pretty big milestone for me. I am super psyched about all the people who have subscribed, and I also thank all the people who are just viewing this for the first time. Please think about subscribing to my videos. I really appreciate it. I do content usually about Target clearance. I also do some Goodwill shopping trips, as well as other frugal ways to help save money so that you can provide for your family. This video is going to be a recap of the Target clearance Christmas sales. It is Friday, January 10th right now, and I kind of had a weird, and I said, and one of the comments was, you know, why did you say this was a weird and different sale? It was weird and different for a couple different reasons. One of which was my mistakes, and also because we had been away. We went away with family over the Christmas season. We did not get back into Philadelphia area until really Sunday the 29th. And I actually had to go into work that afternoon, which is very unusual, but because I had been away, we had a deadline on this case that I've been working on for finishing up on the 29th. I went in on a Sunday, which is unusual, I got home at, I think, 8 o'clock that night. I was able to go out on the 30th and get some, the 70% off, but I didn't really get a chance because we had left on the 21st. I didn't really get a chance to do the perusal that I like to do, and which I have recommended in my previous videos in order to find out what's 90, you know, what will go 90% off. I had done an inventory video, which is in my video playlist, but I wasn't able to go throughout from the 26th to the 30th really to see what was out there and how the stores were doing and things like that. So as a result, and then I got called back in. We all got called back into work to work on something on the 31st. I was at work until about 7:30 on New Year's Eve. My family picked me up. We had dinner downtown, like at a, it's called Steak and Shake. Anyway, so it was super casual. Had a great New Year's Eve, really fun. Kids went to parties. But anyway, when I woke up on New Year's Day, I decided that I was going to go to what has become I have my favorite Target, which is about 3 miles from here, and another Target which I had not gone to for years. It's about 10 miles away, but it's up the expressway. It takes me about 20 minutes to get there. Super easy driving, not a problem. But when I went there on January 1st, I walked in at, actually the store was still even like dark. It was 7:58. The doors open. I walked in. And I said to somebody, I said, is this store even open? He said, no, it's actually still closed. I don't know how you got in. So I walked in, I walked right to the very back, and there were people setting up for the Valentine's. And I said, hey guys, where's the rest of the Christmas? Because I had not been there. And they said, oh, Christmas is all gone, which was shocking to me. And it was 8 o'clock, and I suspected, well, I knew because I had checked out Brickseek, that the stores were going 90% off. So there were items at the store which had gone 90, but there were no items. So if you were able to find something, so I quickly got in my car, drove back down the expressway, and went to my favorite store. I did not get there till 8:20, which just had me all discombobulated because frankly I missed stuff, you know, and I was able to get a lot of good stuff. If you saw my 90% off trip video, you will see that I was able to get some good stuff, and I was happy, and a lot of stuff for donations. But I wasn't able to get the stuff that I usually the stuff that I would normally get. And I've been doing this for so many years, and I really don't need anything for my family, but I always like to get stuff like such as new linens. You know, it was just a different feel. And I think partly because I wasn't following my own advice, which is to be there and to really see what's there and to keep an analysis of what's going on. All right, so I made a list of some of the my thoughts about things. I guess I could call this video things I learned. One of the first and foremost is get to the store at 8 o'clock. I did get to a store at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, it was the wrong store. The reason why I say that is when I went back to when I went to the second store, which is really my favorite store. I got there at around 8:20. At 8:45, I looked around, and at 8:20, the place was mobbed with a whole bunch of people, mostly women, grabbing things. When at 8:45, I looked around, and I was the only person still in the section. That's how quickly it goes. They come in, they get, and they leave. I have, over the years, I tend to be more methodical, and that's great, but you know, it is, like I said, it's both a marathon, but there are sprints in between, and it's important to get to the stores on time so you get obviously the best views of the best stuff. So also I said, oh, that's what I was just saying, fine tooth comb. I really do fine tooth comb, go over the stores, which I did on day 2 and day 3. I would go up and down every single row, which really the entire process takes about 45 minutes. It's not that much time, so don't think it's, you know, like a terrible, like I'm, you know, spending hours and hours. I'm really not. You can pretty much go through every single row of a Target, at least where I live, in about 45 minutes, looking for things you know. I also say know your stores and know your routine. I do know that my favorite store always has a lot of stuff there, and my sister, who lives about 10 miles away from me, has always told me that her store has nothing. I never believed her. Now I believe her because I was at a similar store that had no Christmas left. I don't know what happened on the 30th or the 31st because I was working. There might have been a lot of stuff there. Also, this goes to say, you know, a lot of people, and I see this on these websites, they talk about holding out to your 90. If you live in one of these places where you cannot get things at 90, then I strongly recommend you to buy things at 70. I also really recommend, another thing I learned is you need to shop the perimeters of the stores, and most specifically the end caps. I went on the January 1st. My second store was another store. It's only about 4 miles from here. There was, again, no Christmas section, but I know this store, and I know that they will put everything on the clearance on the end caps, which is where I found great stuff on the end caps. So, and the other thing, on day 2 or 3, you can start to get things on return on the end caps, and in the Christmas section, excuse me, that had been people had purchased at 70% off and were returning. I went to one of the stores I went to on January 1st. A woman walked in with an entire huge. I was returning something I had purchased at 70, and I had gotten another similar one at 90, and I had said in one of my previous videos, you should pick up things at 90 that you bought at 70. Just return with your receipt the 70% item. One of the reasons for that is because other people can purchase them. This particular woman was returning all of the items that she had purchased for 70 because she wanted to repurchase them at 90. I kind of tried to tell her that you really can't do that. It may vary by stores, but for the most part, they will not adjust your clearance. They will return it, and then you would have to go buy a similar item. I'm going to sneeze at 90, but there's no guarantee that item's going to be there. So what I do is I purchased it for 90 with a different credit card, and then I return the items that I purchased at 70, so someone else can purchase it. I wrote, this was one of my notes, I don't know what it means, go for boring, but I think I do know what it means. One of my favorite things, which is on this table right now, is this roll of white paper that I bought. I think I showed it in my video. I don't usually buy any wrapping paper, but what I found for the 50 cents, I got this roll of wrapping paper. This has been the background for the items that I've been selling on eBay, and my daughter has been selling on Poshmark. So this is just a silly little item, but it's been really useful, and it only cost me 50 cents. And I know that you can buy backgrounds for a lot more money, but I'm really happy about this one. Okay, I said already that it is a marathon, but it's in between, there's lots and lots of sprints. I also suggest that when you are shopping for 90%, if you see one of a set, and I did this last year with my coffee mugs. I got these coffee mugs that I really love. They're red and whitish, but they're not really super Christmassy. Anyway, the first store I had gone to, there were two, and I needed more, but I was like, oh, let me get these two. Then the next store I went to, there were six, so I was like, let me get these six. So the point of that is, if you see one or two of a set of something that you want, you should pick it up, because you can likely find more of that set at another store. And that way you will eventually maybe get to the 10 or 12. That's what I also did with my Easter themed kind of pastel-y kind of ceramic plates that I use. Initially, the first store I went to, I saw one, excuse me, and then that was a yawn. And then I ultimately was able to pick up, I think, 10 or 12 I finally got by purchasing 2 or 3 at several different stores. So do that. The other thing I wanted to say is there were a whole bunch of Christmas bread liners there, which I don't tend to make a lot of Christmas bread and to give as gifts. However, what I realized is that I think the one was 80 cents for a pack of 10, and for 8 cents each. My son likes pumpkin bread that he actually has been making for himself, and he keeps on burning it, or it was sticking to the thing. And I finally said, hey, Matthew, use these bread liners. I mean, they do have a Christmas theme on it, but these are bread liners and your bread won't stick anymore. So that worked out well. So think out, quote unquote, as they say, outside the box. Because you may not need the bread liners to give as gifts, but you can use it to make pumpkin bread. Okay. One of the other things I said, and I think it's overlooked a lot, I was super bummed out that the food items did not go to 90% off this year, because they did for last year Easter and at Halloween. Maybe because they are very candy-oriented holidays. I don't know, maybe we'll see about Valentine's Day. But in my area, it only went to 70% off. One of the things, I'm sorry, that I've done is I will freeze items. Last year when I got a whole bunch of Starbucks coffee, I got none this year. But I froze it, and I will, it's coffee. It's just ground coffee. My husband will use that whenever he needs coffee. He will take one out of the freezer and use it. It's just coffee, and I think it doesn't go bad because it's frozen. I will also freeze Oreos. I will freeze all kinds of things. So if you do see items that go down, like I got a whole bunch of Oreos for 89 cents a bag or a box, it's a pretty good deal, and I can use them, and that will be good. I was really surprised that I got sick on the night of the 3rd into the 4th, and just with a cold, and I just didn't feel it going, and I'd gone out the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and I was pretty sure that it was going to be dead on the 5th. I was shocked when I went to the store, and I was walking around, and I saw some of the Wonder Shop, a big thing of Wonder Shop Red. It had 60 napkins in it, and I went over to the thing and to the scanner, and sure enough they came up as 90% off, so I picked them up. It went really late. Again, this is a marathon. However, that doesn't mean, and actually, and my favorite, they still had a Christmas section on January 5th, whereas most of the other ones I had gone to were completely wiped out. I had to go back to work downtown until I think the 3rd, and there is a downtown Philadelphia, and there was no actual Christmas section, but you could find lots of gift items throughout. And that's it. That's pretty much what I learned this year. And like I said, I was a little discombobulated this year with the 90% off, because I didn't hit the ground running, and when I did hit the ground running, I messed up by going to the wrong one first. But all in all, I'm very pleased with the items I got. I have to still put them away. I don't know if you can see over there. My Christmas tree is still up. But anyway, it was all in all a great season. It was just different for me this year. So I hope some of these items, these thought processes will help you when you're looking at your Target. I'm about to do a video about all of my favorite 90% off finds over the years for all the holidays. So, And for the most part, I can tell you, because I've been gathering, it's pretty mundane things. Like one year I got lots of scissors, so that were 50 cents each. And even now I'm still handing my kids, my son's in college, he said, oh, we could use a pair of scissors in the section. And I said, oh, here's 2 pairs of scissors. So those are the kind of things that I like finding at Target, so that I can save my money, save money for my family, and use it for donations to give to both the organizations that I donate to. In fact, this coming up next weekend, is going to be Martin Luther King, and one of my daughter has a fundraiser, not a fundraiser, a clothes drive, and one of the things I need is new underwear and socks, and I have tons of new underwear and socks from over the years, and in fact I got several of them to this 90% off that I will be donating to this organization in Philadelphia called Cradles to Crayons. So anyway, hopefully these tips helped you. Thank you so much for my video, all my subscribers, and if you would like to subscribe, please do so. I really appreciate all the people who have subscribed to my video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.